So if you've been collecting for a while, you've probably heard the term Omnibus or Absolute Edition. What do they all mean? What are they? Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Fresh Start Comics. My name is Ben. Before we dive into this episode, real quick, please join my Discord down below. It just launched, and I'm really excited about it to hang out with you all, talk about comic books in the Discord, so check out the link below. Today, we're going to be talking about omnibus editions, absolute editions, and other forms of collections for comic books, and why I think you should be looking at omnibus editions. So first of all, what is an omnibus? Well, I have a couple right here in front of me. I don't have a whole lot of omnibus editions, but I have two here that I am absolutely head over heels for right now. One of them is Doctor Strange #1 Omnibus Edition. The basic definition of an omnibus is that it is a large format collection of certain comic books. This being volume 1, this one actually collects Strange Tales 110 through 111, 114 through 146, and the Amazing Spider-Man Annual 2. So this is the first appearance of Doctor Strange and a couple other stories that are pretty sweet. On the back of it, you can see a couple of issues. I know it's kind of far away, but there are some issues here that are included in this book, and every single one of them comes with a dust jacket. They look really good on a shelf, and they're a great way to collect your comics all in one place, so you're not have to take in all of your single issues out. That may be a little delicate. So reason #1 you should get an omnibus edition of your collection is if you're worried about damaging your comics. If they are very old, which Strange Tales is a bit old, and I have a couple of issues that I don't want to get out and actually open and read because I don't want to tear them or break them. So I have this omnibus so I can go through and actually look at those favorite issues of mine and come in and read them again as if they were just straight off the page again. And that some of them are larger format or updated coloring, so those are a couple of new things to enjoy. Or if your issue is so old that it has some yellowing, it'll look nice and fresh inside of an omnibus. The other omnibus that I have on the table is heavy as crap, but it's Batman Volume 1, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's New 52 run of Batman. I have Volume 2 that I haven't opened yet, but it's over here on my shelf. And I got this one because, as you know, if you've watched a couple of my videos, I love the Death of the Family and Court of Owls story, and this collects all of those issues plus some more. So officially on the back it says this collects Batman 0 through 33, 23.2, and Batman Annual 1 and 2. Now, what does all that mean? Well, these are all specific issues that are collected in this, and one thing that I really like about this particular one is that even though the dust jacket is very cool, the actual physical cover of it is beautiful as well. It's a really nice and interesting cover, but also on the back and on the spine, there's artwork as well, and it looks really, really good. For now, I'm gonna keep it in the dust jacket just so I can keep it protected until I get my new shelf, which hopefully will appear in a video sometime soon. So now you may be thinking, Ben, why am I getting an omnibus edition when I could just get the trade paperbacks and spend a little less money? Or when I can buy single issues and spend a little less money? Well, here's the thing. Something like older books from Doctor Strange, so Strange Tales 110 is very expensive. And this book itself is only $75 in the US. So think about it this way. You have, let's see, how many issues in here? There's about 35 issues in this omnibus edition. So issue 110 is very expensive. It's more expensive than this book altogether. So if you are looking to get a bunch of issues of Strange Tales, or if you're new to Doctor Strange and you don't really know where to start, if you're not interested in the digital route, which totally understand, then getting an omnibus is the way to go because you're spending less money and you have a really nice display piece and everything's collected for you. So if you want to go on vacation and take your omnibus with you, you're absolutely more than welcome to do that. You'll have all of your Strange Tales that you want to read right there at your fingertips. Or if you take the massive one, you have your entire volume 1 of the New 52 Batman run for Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. So let's go back to trade paperbacks for a second. So I have the trade paperbacks of The Court of Owls and Death of the Family, and again, I totally see where everybody's coming from. Look at the size difference between this and this. I mean, that's a massive difference, right? So why would I get the omnibus over this? Well, a couple of reasons. It is slightly bigger on page than Let's see if I can do this. So here's the first page for the Court of Owls story, all right? And for comparison, here it is in the Omnibus. It's a little bigger, and you get a lot more appreciation for Greg Capullo's art in this. So that's one reason. So these, yes, while they are super portable and you can take them everywhere, not take up so much space in your bag and add 50 pounds to it, it's a great way to transport your stories with you. But if you're like me and you have somewhere that you typically read your comics, I read them right here in this chair most of the time, having an omnibus edition is so much better than these trade paperbacks. These are very, flimsy, they're, a little rocky, which is not a bad thing. They just don't feel great. Having an omnibus, it feels like I am reading a very elegant book, And the pages are great. They're printed very, very well. The colors pop, not that they don't on the other ones, but my whole point here is if you're interested in collecting your books in the best way possible and you're into preserving your single issues, the omnibus is definitely the way to go. I am very new to the omnibus game. I actually didn't know that they existed until I went to my local comic store and saw this. I saw this in the store. I'm like, all right, well, I already have Court of Owls and Death of the Family. Why do I need the omnibus? So I was talking to the shop owner and he really sold me on omnibuses where, learning to appreciate the art a little bit more, which I already do, but seeing it bigger is incredible. And if you saw my last video with the Absolute Edition of Death of the Family, I have thoroughly enjoyed that because it is even larger than the Omnibus edition. So just a second, let me show you. Right, so here is the Omnibus. I'm gonna just put that right there. You can see the top of it right there. Here is the Absolute Edition. So you can see there's a big difference between the size of these two books and the art that goes in them as well. This is a scary side, but I love this side. It's just so cool. Also, one thing I didn't show in the last video that I probably should have is you see Batman's mask and now it's Bruce Wayne. I don't know why that brings me so much joy, but I just love that. It doesn't bring me so much joy when I do it on this side because it is terrifying. I like it this way, but again, nice little touch on the Absolute Edition. So at the end of the day, it's really all up to you and what your preference is. My personal thinking is I have these that I can preserve for a very long time. My kids can read these when they get old enough and they're gonna absolutely love doing it this way. And this also saves my single issues for if I wanna ever get them graded down the road. My kids won't mess them up or accidentally tear them. I can keep them safe and secluded in their boxes, which we'll talk about in another video down the road. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about omnibus editions and maybe it inspired you to check out some of your favorite stories in omnibus format. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and be sure to like, subscribe, share it with one of your friends, and be sure to support your local comic book shops, and I will see you next time on Fresh Start Comics.